Douglas politics. Listen, Douglas politics, yeah. How Douglas politics. This is Douglas politics, yeah. How Douglas politics. This is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk,
Trinidad and Tobago to be hardest thing out to fix. We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago to be hardest thing out to fix. We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race.
Tuesday night 7:30. Tuesday night 7:30 p.m. Douglas Politics. Rowley, don't tell me a lie again, you know, boy. Rowley, you serious? I give everybody chance. I give everybody time. I give everybody chance to check it out. Rowley, I feel I catch you again, boy. Douglas Politics, 7:30 p.m. Douglas Politics, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night on time.
Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk.
Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics.
Good evening and welcome to Douglas Politics. Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslim community and Shub Navratri to the Hindu community. A very spiritual time. Shout out Baptist, Easter, everything. Very good. I think we need some prayers in Trinidad and Tobago. And saying that, well, the UNC senators today boycotted the parliament once again because the PNM just refused to follow science. They refuse to do what they have instructed the population to do. Wade Mark wrote and spoke to Franklin Khan and said, listen, Keith Rowley tested positive for COVID-19. He was in the parliament, up and down, across the board. Why hasn't the parliament been sanitized? The chamber, to keep the people safe, the police officers safe, to keep everybody, all the workers, everybody safe. Why hasn't it been sanitized? What are the protocols? What has changed? Not a response. David Lee wrote from since last week, Wednesday, 6 days ago, to the Honorable Bridget and he said, George, the Speaker of the House. Not a response. Anywhere else across the country, COVID-19 test, market shut down, bank shut down, super farm shut down, pharmacy shut down, grocery shut down, restaurant shut down, everywhere shut down, sanitized. The whole of Chaguanas 6 months ago was sanitized by the mayor of Chaguanas. But not the parliament, because them PNM just do what they want. They make law for you, but they hug up and do arm wrestle and kiss each other, big strong men kissing up each other and shoo-shooing in the airs without mask. But you and your wife had to wear mask in your car. So, the senators of the UNC did not go today. Hopefully, the PNM will follow the protocols as instructed every day ad nauseum by them, their advisors, and their PNM doctors who just come on every day and pretend to buff the population. But when the PNM financiers and those in power doing things, they look the other way. So we monitor that situation. Now, as I talk about PNM financiers, you all heard they had a big wedding? They had a big wedding this weekend. Stephen Reese was there. He showed you some footage of all the cars, about 150 cars, over 200 people invited. Big wedding under COVID-19. We under COVID-19 lockdown and protocols for approximately 1 year and 1 month. Do you know there's a man called Andrew Gabriel? I want to say a special good evening to Andrew Gabriel. And I'm going to ask you all this in a funny way. Andrew Gabriel is Keith Rowley brethren. When Keith Rowley was the leader of the opposition, if they had a funeral, Ken Valley funeral, it's Andrew Gabriel, Keith Rowley, and Rohan Sinanan moving. If they had Carnival Fete in the Oval, it's Andrew Gabriel, Keith Rowley, and Rohan Sinanan moving. If they had Lime Fete in Hyatt, same crew. Brethren, financiers, lovers, close. Now I gave you all a story on the radio and Douglas Politics. On the radio about 2 years ago and Douglas Politics about 8 months ago. That Keith Christopher Rowley is such a pathetic excuse for a black man that he was in a New Year's Eve function in Goodwood Park. And them fellas and them, he brethren and them in Goodwood Park, and two ladies had to leave and give me the story directly. Calling and referring to Keith Christopher Rowley at New Year's 2019 as, hey black boy, come, look me black boy, and they're smoking this cigar and drinking this scotch, and Rowley going like it's funny. Now, I have no respect for Rowley, but he happens to hold the highest executive office in the land. And if he has no self-esteem to let people talk to him like that, I don't know what to say again. Because he responded, and these fellas, his good friends, calling him, hey, this is my black boy, look my little black boy, come and take a drink, and he finds it funny. Now you all might think that's a joke. And many of us who line with all kind of people, some people may make a bad joke, not knowing that it's a bad joke, because there's nothing worse than a subconscious racist. But they have individuals with character who would tell them, hey, not around me, boy. I don't want to hear that kind of joke. That is a stupid joke, boy. And then they will learn quickly, don't make them stupid joke. You will uplift their consciousness. You think I don't like Ansel Roger. He does lean to the left. He's still trying to beg for a refinery that he get blank for, like he get domestic abuse. He's a political abuse. He's suffering from political abuse. He don't know what to do. He's still going back for more licks. I don't like it. But do you think them boys could go to Ansel Roger? Look, my black boy. Come take a drink, my black boy. I don't think so. Let's stop that now, boy, Vishnu boy. Yeah, I don't think so. But Rowley, the Prime Minister of our country, me I vote for he, me I like he. I know he's a clown since 1987. But all you vote for he, and them referring to him like that. But let me ask you this then. Keith Rowley came out in an ugly shirt that the colonials make black people wear who come from the Caribbean to put we in we place. But this clown went and wear that, and he didn't wear it once, you know. He wore it in a function too, in a Shouter Baptist function and the press conference. Like he liked that shot. And he is buffing you, buffing the country, and telling you all kind of things. But let me tell you something. He was going to attend a big function. He was going to attend a wedding at that time. In a few days, he hadn't tested positive for COVID yet. Wedding invitations, all you know, go out months in advance, a month, 6 weeks in advance. Wedding had planned. Is he brethren Andrew Gabriel's daughter? Keith Rowley was invited. So while Keith Rowley is buffing y'all, shouting at y'all, telling y'all one fool away, one party away, he had full intentions of attending the wedding of his brethren daughter run the track. Let me remind all you, when he was saying this, he fully intended to attend his good brethren Andrew Gabriel daughter wedding. Run it.
Because it only takes the drop in the guard of a few people and the irresponsible conduct of a few people, maybe one or two parties, maybe one or two lines, to put us on a slope to go backwards.
Now, this is the wedding. This is the wedding of Keith Rowley's good brethren, Andrew Gabriel daughter. And as a father, it's always a big day when your daughter getting married. So me, I no problem. Congratulations to the girl. Me and I'm not talking about that at all. It's the timing we're dealing with now. So Keith Christopher Rowley had an invitation in hand. The first invitation to the wedding would have been Keith Christopher Rowley's invitation. Now let's follow me. No? So Keith Christopher Rowley is shouting and buffing the population and calling us fools, and we one fool away, one party away. And if they don't have, if all you do that, they have no more money. They have no more money for all you. And all the time, he intended to attend this function. Now fate would have it, a twist came in. But right here we freeze that, because I go into a second point. But before I go to the second point, let me ask you all this. If Andrew Gabriel is Rowley's friend, really and truly, and Keith Rowley is the Prime Minister, and the country is going through a crisis, and his friend the Prime Minister is giving instructions to follow protocols to keep gatherings to 10 and less, if you are the friend of somebody, how would you respond to that? Would you tell your daughter, listen, I know you love and so on, we plan this, you know. Weddings take quite a time to plan, especially a big wedding like that. Well, sweetheart, what you want to do? You know, my partner is the Prime Minister, we under lockdown, we on serious protocols, serious pandemic and so on. What would you like to do? Delay till we reach herd immunity, or you think love might fall away and you mightn't get married? Or would you like to just do a small family, 10 people wedding? What you want to do, sweetheart? Because really and truly, it's my friend, it's my brethren. I can't really go and disrespect the man rules like that. The man come out, he trying to keep the country safe. And it's just not on for me, being the man brethren, that I could go and flaunt and flout the rules like that. I would not do my partner that. How would you all respond? Think about it. So Andrew Gabriel, who's supposed to be close to Rowley, eating breakfast at Adams. Everybody get a picture on social media, so all who need to know could know that Andrew Gabriel and Rowley tight. Tight like Al-Rawi shirt and pants. But yet, his so-called friend says, no, both the country, none of this nonsense, fools, no party, look down. And he hosts a big 200 people wedding and more. Next point, you notice no pictures of this wedding. You don't see Zessa face down. You don't see Zessa girl winding up. You see Zessa going in maxi. You see 20 police with big gun keeping all my boys and them down if they go and try and take a line. You see them staying 17 hours in the police station. You see pictures, cameraman, Express News, The Guardian, TV6, CNC3. What? You see them all over. Not a picture. Not a picture of this wedding. Not a video. Not a video of Marshall, I don't even know if Marshall sing, if Kes sing. Me, I know if Dionne Warwick come down and sing. We ain't know if Despots play pan. We ain't know if they eat hot dog. We ain't know if they eat kibi. We ain't know what they eat. We ain't know how it look. We ain't know if the bride looked beautiful or not. I'm sure she was. We ain't know if the groom looked dapper. We ain't know if tight shot wear a different shot and if he was there. We ain't know nothing. Not a picture. Not a video. Not a phone. Not a me too. Amazing. Because them so good. All guests had to walk through there. They already had 16 to 20 security in this brown and black uniform outside in the road, which breaching protocol in itself. Then you had to go through here and you see that tent on the left. All guests had to leave their phone and everything. No camera, no phone, no video camera, nothing. You had to log it in there at security. Why is that? But that more secure than the prison. Man does get phone in the prison. Man does be on Facebook in the prison. Man does be sending out shout out to the prison. Man does be sending out Instagram live from the prison. In this wedding, not a footage. Number two, I know photographers that went down there waiting outside. They couldn't get inside. Of course, that's secure. That safe like Selassie briefcase. But the media photographers who went down, you mean they didn't wait outside to see guests leaving the wedding at around midnight, whatever time, man leaving after a few scotch and shrimps? Not a picture of who was inside there. Not a picture of how many. Not a video to show the irresponsible fools. As Rowley described them, not Anil. Rowley said we are one party of fools, one party away, or one fool away from a total lockdown and another shutdown and a match-up of the economy further under him, the destroyer of the economy. Not a picture. Express, Newsday, Guardian. Wow, but Andrew Gabriel, Anil, only record this. Andrew Gabriel, you're real good. Let me put it this way, my brother. And I know you since long time. So don't even pretend to put God out your thoughts. But you should be the Minister of National Security, Andrew Gabriel. That is what I call securing an event so tight that not even my phone, not even my picture, not even my video, not even my audio. Andrew Gabriel, fire small pin. I say no, Anil saying Douglas saying here. Andrew Gabriel should be the Minister of National Security for that performance. I am proud and I am impressed, boy. No, I'm not impressed as, at your friendship. Like you don't respect the man. Like you don't respect your black boy. You don't respect he. You don't care about he. You doing your own thing. Fire burn he. No matter how he look, you go do what you want. That's not how friends should really react. If Vishnu was Prime Minister and he say lock down 10 people and I gone up my father 80th birthday and have a party with 300 people, that wouldn't be respectful of my brother Vishnu. In fact, I'll be a clown. On top of that, for a clown in a clown shirt to be buffing you, the citizens who all you vote for he buffing all you, but have invitation in the back pocket under the ugly shirt to go in wedding, But then the COVID on the Kobo hit. Well, the COVID on the Kobo hit. When I come back, I'll just share the live because it's time. Rowley boy, the Douglas catch you again. It's not so difficult to catch you lying, Rowley. We've done it many times when gravel roll from by a hospital to somewhere by you. When man get outline approval to go up in the sky. When you build sheep farm. When you and Noel Garcia build house with Al Rawi on your HDC board. on floodplain land without approvals and coming back. Now we go deal with that later too. Only share the live, please, because Rowley, and he'll feed your lie, boy. We coming back.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago till we have this thing out the fix. We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk.
Welcome back to Douglas Politics. Put up a picture. I want to see my boy. Look, my boy Andrew Gabriel with the glasses and the beard, man. Look, Andrew Gabriel, Faris Alarawi, a la tight shot, a la one shot, a la tight pants, a la recusal, a la wife get brief, a la renty old binding, a la all outfitted for him, a la sweet boy who handsomely humble. And then, oh good, that one in the middle. Oh God, look who he hugging. Lazarus, boy, she wake up from the dead. And then Rohan, I didn't tell her that I the crew. I wouldn't lie to all you. Wherever you see that ugly Oreo, you go see Andrew Gabriel. So while he buffing you, he don't have, and let Andrew Gabriel come out and tell me he did not invite Rowley to his daughter's wedding. Andrew Gabriel, I dare you to come out and tell me that nonsense. Because that shows how disingenuous this Rowley clown is. Buffing the whole population, locking up the population, people businesses gone through, people lost work, people suffering. But he buffing all you, telling all you, those who receive check, as if 1,500 you could get that even a check. A check just chooks at 1,500. What a family of four going and do 1,500 in 1 month, multiply by 3, but we in lockdown 13 months. But he, while he telling you that, he know full well that they have a big party in St. Clair. They have a big party because he invited. And I can tell you he's the first invitation to go out. That's your prime minister. That's the leader. So while the Norwegian prime minister celebrated her birthday with 13 people and the limit was 10, and the chief of police went there and charged she and fined her 2,000 euros. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have a dunce clown buffing we with an ugly Anglo-Saxon disrespectful Caribbean people shirt, buffing and talking down to us. But in his back pocket, he have an invitation to Andrew Gabriel, his brethren, who does call him black boy, come, pop a cigar, smoke a cigar, and all his skinny teeth. So much so in Goodwood Park, when he skinny teeth, they thought it was fireworks. The place was dark now. Yes, they like he so. And all you're talking, all you have, that is a black man. That man is a disgrace to the color black. We're moving ahead now. Rowley, you have COVID-19. Okay. Rowley have COVID-19. Just so coincidentally, he have it. He say he have it. He was supposed to get the vaccine the same day. 2,000 vaccine had come about 3 weeks before. He had said he was taking it first. Somehow that first moved to last. He didn't take it. He didn't say he had COVID. He said on the office of the Prime Minister, Facebook, he went, they take him from there, Bethlehem, and they take him down to Scarborough to take an MRI, and he come back. Or they didn't find it where they're not supposed to, when you have COVID, you're not supposed to be moving around and spreading it. You're supposed to stay put. Next thing you know, the MRI in Tobago and walking a whole year. They said, no, it's not an MRI, it's a CAT scan. He went to CAT scan. Yes. Okay. Rowley have COVID. Somehow, lazy Rowley who do no work when he healthy. Always on the golf course, not reading, nothing, not working, nothing, not understanding, nothing, not doing anything. Shortest cabinet meetings in the history of cabinet on average. But all of a sudden he has COVID and he's working and photo up, and we could see him conducting cabinet meetings and conferences and so on. He just got diligent with this COVID. Okay, fair enough. He's 71. He has comorbidities. He heart good. But he get COVID and he looking stronger than the Douglas. Now they say he had 35 contacts. Well, super spreader, for you to have 35 contacts as a prime minister, one, show that you're really lazy, or two, all you lie. But still, 35 contacts who will then go into contact with a minimum of 4 to 8 people. That is hundreds of people. Look at super spreader in the draws. Judy Raymond, find your boy looking good? You like that picture? You're looking good in the draws. You go and get Tess Egil. I don't want you to get sick. Mrs. Rowley might be safe, but you should go and take a test. You understand, Judy Raymond? Yes. Whatever Rowley have that Kamala don't have that you love so much, go and take a test, girl. Don't say the Douglas didn't care about you. No? Go and take a test. But anyway, back to the super spreader Rowley. So he has COVID-19 with somebody with comorbidities. You know, COVID-19, the real pressure is on the lungs and thing. As somebody who suffer from asthma here, when I have an asthma attack, all you wouldn't believe, that's the only time I don't talk. You understand? A time back in the day, I get one, and I had to tell my wife, hey, slow down. Way back in 1999 or something. She drive too fast, my heart rate go up. She drive too slow, my heart rate go up because I find it taking too long because you have to get the injection. Asthma patients just get first preference in general hospital and so on. As you have asthma does go before gunshot wound. Ask them nurse and them. I gotta slow it down. So if somebody have comorbidities and they get COVID-19, lung function very important. My boy talking normal, excited, hosting meeting. Okay, he had COVID, okay. But then he talk a little too much. Rowley, when a liar talk too much, he does get catch, boy. He do an interview on PNM Central, Louis Leasing Station, that I'd get a radio license in 24 hours. Remember back in the day? Hedgeridge Barrow, not Hedgeridge Barrow, it's not Hedgeridge, the former minister, under Manning. They get it in 24 hours, Louis No Neck Leasing. Vishnu, do me a favor, and all you, look very carefully. Vishnu, come, Vishnu. Come around so. Let me ask you something because I want people to understand that are not lying. And all you go get to see my boy Vishnu. Come now, Vishnu. Duck down a bit, let people see you. That's my boy Vishnu. Vishnu, on Saturday, did I send you this video one time?
Of course. Yes.
And did I tell you what I was going to do on Tuesday evening, 7:30?
Yes, you did.
And I said we're going to stay quiet because we're going to try and see if the media, if Trinidad and Tobago going to pick up on this. Didn't we say that?
Of course. Yes.
And we have kept silent. True?
Up until now.
Up until now. Thank you, Vishnu. Go back and get ready to play this thing there now. Right. This was an interview done on I-95.5, PNM Central, the radio of Rowley Capax, PNM, Natalie Legault, and all the PNM. Now I want you all, I'm giving all you a second chance, because since Saturday, and this was flooding Facebook, since Saturday, many newspapers and so on have commented, people have tweeted on it, and nobody yet really hear what this man say. Let us listen to the the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. Listen carefully. Play.
Keith Rowley here.
I'm doing as good as I can. I'm doing well. I have tested positive for the virus in a pandemic, and while I was a little surprised because I was doing all that I thought I could do and a bit more to not be exposed, but I have no idea where I was exposed or how I got this virus, but I know I'm in an environment where the virus is present. So that, having been said, is not important. What is important now is that my body has responded in a way that I am not symptomatically sick, and I'm glad that I was so tuned in to the protocols that as soon as on last Monday night, when I started feeling my nose itching and I started sneezing a little bit more than I have experienced any time before without having a flu, I told myself that these are flu-like symptoms, because during the night I started to have a bit of a runny nose. And I said, these are flu-like symptoms, and the response to flu-like symptoms is to get tested. So at daybreak,
we pause it there. Did you all hear it carefully? The Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, talking about his experience that led him to take a COVID test and test positive. He said, you know, in the night of the 5th, I was sneezing a bit more than ordinary. Then, as the night went on, I started to get a runny nose, and I said, well, this looks like flu-like symptoms. So let me go in the morning and take a COVID-19 test. I took it in the morning, and the doctor said, yes, I have COVID. Here the problem, boss. Sneezing is not a symptom of COVID-19. Runny nose is not, except in extremely, extremely rare cases, a symptom of COVID-19. You picked the wrong two symptoms. Anybody who has been studying COVID-19 and listening knows the symptoms about the dry, unproductive cough, the scratchiness in the throat, where they even tell you drink hot tea to try and get it down into your stomach before it fester in your lung, in your throat, and go down to your lungs and start to impact it. They talk about fever. Fever. Without fever, you are no COVID. The man doing the whole interview, he took a fever, tell me your temperature, take a temperature, tell me how it was, no thermometer, look at the COVID, now put it up big. I don't want to see me, I want the people read the coronavirus symptoms. Put it up bigger, man. Let me go up from the top. Fever, coronavirus, right? Common for coronavirus is fever, cough. In order for it to be coronavirus, you must have a fever and a cough, a dry cough. That's common. Next thing you will feel, if you really have it, you might get a loss of taste and smell. Go up, man. Coronavirus is the first column. Keep going up. Fatigue sometimes, but Rowley wouldn't know about that because he's so lazy. Headache sometimes. Aches and pains sometimes. Runny, stuffy nose. Rare. What rare mean is not steak, you know. Mean with coronavirus, that is not a normal symptom. Go up again. I ain't see sneezing yet, sore throat sometimes. Sneezing. No. Sneezing is not a symptom of coronavirus. Vishnu and Archie replay Dr. Rowley giving an interview on I-95, which led him, because he knows the protocols and he's so close to the coronavirus and he'd heard the information so much that he was an expert, that when he sneezed a bit extra and he had a runny nose, he ran for coronavirus. When man was getting sneezing and running nose, there was running you from health center all over the world, all in the United States. When you have a runny nose, they tell you fire upon you, no waste we test on you, move from here. Sneezing and running nose waste of time. Let we hear something like fever, let we hear sore throat, let we hear dry, unproductive cough, let we hear body aches, pains, headaches, these kind of things. Not no runny nose and sneezing. Here, Mr. Dr. Rowley, Dr. Rowley coronavirus symptoms. Run it.
Rowley here.
I'm doing as good as I can. I'm doing well. I have tested positive for the virus in a pandemic, and while I was a little surprised because I was doing all that I thought I could do and a bit more to not be exposed, but I have no idea where I was exposed or how I got this virus, but I know I'm in an environment where the virus is present. So that, having been said, is not important. What is important now is that my body has responded in a way that I am not symptomatically sick, and I'm glad that I was so tuned in to the protocols that as soon as last Monday night, when I started feeling my nose itching and I started sneezing a little bit more than I have experienced any time before without having a flu, I told myself that these are flu-like symptoms, because during the night I started to have a bit of a runny nose. And I said, these are flu-like symptoms, and the response to flu-like symptoms is to get tested. So at daybreak, as soon as I woke, I made contact with the doctors here in Tobago, and I told them what I experienced during the night, and I need to be tested, as they agreed. And lo and behold, I was positive.
Up that, magnify that, man. This is the next one for if all you feel and you lie. Coronavirus disease symptoms. See if you could magnify it there for me. But I could see, most common symptoms of the COVID-19: fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Those are the most common. Not sneezing and stuffy nose or runny nose. You see, what all you want to say now, Express? What the wish a man who lied. Why we didn't see, why he don't come and give it test like how he liked Bacchanal, he liked video. He wanted to send TTT to take picture of him taking jab and injection. Show we the test now. Let me see them swab it up in the ball head. Let me see them dip it and show it. Now go back to the other one. I want to read that other one. I'll get it back. Another one, I'd read through that already. I want to show them the other one for them to see it's two different set of table. The red one, and the first three symptoms is fever, dry cough, tiredness. But Rowley ain't get tired. He have more energy under COVID-19 positive. He doing work, he doing interview, he singing good, he moving around, he nice. With Mr. Comorbidities, bad heart, bad everything, bad brain, bad, well, Judy Raymond said that ain't so bad, but bad everything else. But all of a sudden, COVID-19 hit he. And normally when people who have comorbidities say that, they get some pressure, they have to fight through, they might have to go on ventilator. None of that with he. He get energy like Superman, because he had sneezing and stuffy nose. He has sinus. He has Sahara dust. He has flu. But he telling all this COVID-19. Balling about wish he well, okay? Well, let him prove that he had that. Furthermore, less common symptoms. Let's go and see if we see sneezing and stuffy nose. Aches and pains, he never mentioned that. Nothing about no ache and pain. He ain't mentioned nothing about no sore throat. Well, he looked like he have a perennial diarrhea, but he didn't mention it. Conjunctivitis, his eye looked normal. Headache, his head looked normal. Loss of taste, he what? He was licking down crab and dumpling. And a rash on his skin, well, you wouldn't see that on he, right? Because he say he's a black man. He don't like black people, but we wouldn't see no rash on his skin, and he didn't talk about it. Serious symptoms for people who are elderly, like 71, and people who have comorbidities, like a bad heart and nearly had a serious procedure last month and may have something in his throat. We don't know, nor do I care. But he say, and the Alsing say, that he had to be first in line for vaccine because of comorbidities, serious symptoms, difficulty breathing. Well, he might have difficulty breathing, because them girl and them ain't really making no child again since 69 and so on. But breathing, he breathing very well. Shortness of breath, none of that. Chest pain, A man with heart problem and he get chest pain, he should be under pressure. Or pressure, loss of speech or movement, he talking very good on I-95.5. Or you come back to me and give me a flipping chance with this man. When he went in email, get and lie down the place. When he lie on Patrick Manning, when he lie about Delcy and PDVSA as Jubal Chavez, when he lie about HDC and the Chinese, when he lie about the vaccine, when he lie about everything, all you come to tell me, believe he? Play the TikTok. Look at my next fella. I don't know he, but I see this on TikTok. Play a TikTok. Douglas politics.
Imagine if our Prime Minister really got COVID on purpose, so he fake getting the whole thing. It is a bit suspicious to be tested positive hours before you're due to be vaccinated, and now you can't get it for a whole 6 months, and even after that you have a good excuse not to take it. The Mexican president said he isn't taking the vaccine because he got COVID before and he has enough antibodies now. And how are all these world leaders getting infected if they're following the guidelines? Well, we need to have realistic expectations of the guidelines. The cloth masks don't actually stop COVID. That's like putting up a fence to stop flies. They stop you from spitting on people. And if you're infected, the virus is on your spit. So it's to protect other people, really and truly. COVID is a virus and it's contagious. It's not sentenced by a judge and the guilty. Everyone who got COVID didn't go to a private party. I think a lot of the extra effort that many people, including the government, put on us behaving good to stop COVID makes it seem like everyone who got COVID behaved badly, and that's not true. By the way, they still recommend to be vaccinated even if you were infected before.
Very interesting. And they want sympathy, empathy. Well, show us, man. How you get your test results so fast? Because in the latest release they said that the Honorable Prime Minister went for another test this morning. He went this morning and it was positive again. So he got his test results within an hour. That's very good. I want to clap the Honorable Prime Minister and whoever did that test. So why is it that other human beings and all of our citizens have to wait? The shortest period that some people have waited is 3 days. The average is 8 days for a test. And I have at least 12 people who told me that they went into quarantine and come back out and still didn't get the test results. 17, 18, 19, 20 days. So if Dr. Rowley, and I know he's so special to all of you, can get his test in an hour, why can't regular citizens get their test in 24 hours or 48 hours? That's 48 hours. Why not? And then that brings me to Dr. Avery Hines. I don't know if Vishnu found the video, but all of a sudden, with this miraculous COVID-19 stuffy nose and sneezing that the Prime Minister got simultaneously as he was going to take the vaccine, and then he went for an MRI, which was a CAT scan, and he got his test back very quickly, and he seems to have no ill effects from the COVID-19 whatsoever. His heart is stronger than a young person. He's like an ox. It's brilliant how he's going and so on. It's amazing that Dr. Hines, all of a sudden, this man comes up and says, February 21st, new WHO rules on contact tracing means that you only go back 2 days. Let's listen to Dr. Hines. Dr. Hines. Let's listen to him.
One of the matters that seems to be circulating in the public domain, of course, is the fact that the Prime Minister would have been diagnosed as COVID positive by a test done on the 6th of April. And we are aware that the symptoms he had would have started on the 5th of April. So giving a good example, because I know the questions have been asked of me directly as well, the people who would have been in contact with him at the press conference on the 27th or in Parliament the day before would fall long before the onset of symptoms, well outside of that 2-day window that we give before the onset of someone's symptoms when they could have been infectious. So the queries that have come into the public domain around contact tracing for that particular time scale really don't apply. If the symptoms start on a given date, we move 2 days backwards, and this is based on the existing and updated WHO guidance for contact tracing, updated as at February 2021. That can be looked up on the WHO site. You can download it and read it yourself. But the science suggests that the 48-hour time scale is all that is relevant. And given the fact that the symptoms for the PM started on the 5th of April, that takes us 2 days backwards. So those in press conference, those in Parliament the day before, don't actually run any risk of exposure to an infectious person at that point in time. So that's a practical example of exactly what we were speaking about previously when we spoke about the...
Yes. Now, let me deal with Dr. Hines carefully. Dr. Hines, what symptoms? You see a whole February 21st new WHO rules from the onset of symptoms. But the WHO does not have sneezing and stuffy nose as symptoms of COVID-19. So your entire analysis there is warped by your patient's dishonesty or yours, because symptoms did not occur. No coronavirus COVID-19 symptoms were enunciated by the Honorable Prime Minister, number one. Number two, to say that you only go back 2 days after symptoms appear. Coronavirus, there are WHO protocols, and that same, even the updated version, states that a person could be asymptomatic. So if someone is asymptomatic, when does the 2 days start? The 2 days cannot start. And I put it to you that if Rowley has COVID-19 now, he is asymptomatic, because sneezing and stuffy nose is not symptoms of coronavirus. So if he did test positive, he is asymptomatic, and therefore the 2-day period from the onset of symptoms, which did not occur, does not exist even from February 21st. Second point, Dr. Hines. How come you now come out with this new WHO February 21st updated version for contact tracing? You have a press conference every day ad nauseum, making most of us regurgitate at your stupidity. So how come February 21st, you read that, February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd, March 4th, March 5th, until April 8th or so, all that time, you did not find it necessary to alert the population of these updated WHO protocols for contact tracing while we are all in this together. You did not feel that we needed the information to adjust our contact tracing, our resources, our limited resources to fight this pandemic. You didn't think it was necessary only because Kamala Prasad said we're not going in no flipping parliament because all you ain't sanitize, all you ain't test. Rowley lie and ball, he didn't have no cabinet, he didn't meet with nobody, and he only had private meeting. Then he said it was only private meeting and not that. Rubbish. So when Kamala Prasad and the UNC don't go in, all of a sudden Hines information jump out on your science. Furthermore, Hines, I'm not done with you because you are the man. You know when I first heard about you, Hines? When Mark Bassant, before he get big salary and bought out there to tell me about sports story and so on. When Mark Bassant last year, March or April, put on a front page in the Guardian and a story about the increase by some 397 or 497 cases between the period of January to April of deaths from respiratory illness, that there was a huge increase during that period. Remember our first COVID-19 death occurred from somebody who was liming hair during Carnival, All you forget that? And then in the parliament, a PNM come and said, well, Dr. Hines said there's no difference in the numbers. Well, that's the first time I heard the name Dr. Hines. I didn't put a face. I didn't know if it's Fitzgerald, if to put a Rasta, Pomsite Rasta on him, or to put a big WhatsApp pipe next to him. I didn't know what to do. All I know is I heard Dr. Hines. Well, then Dr. Hines, I started to see you, and I realized that you have balisé instead of stethoscope. Then you came to tell me that illegal immigrants are not bringing COVID-19 to the Trinidad and Tobago lockdown area. That illegal immigrants have no impact on COVID-19 spread. Remember when you said that, Dr. Hines? Well, I want to ask you, Dr. Hines, these illegal immigrants that the national security apparatus cannot even find their whole entire body, how did you find a nostril to test them? They are illegal immigrants because they come in undetected. So if a whole human being is undetected, how you got to swab the nostril, Dr. Hines, to let us know that they're not bringing COVID while our entire population is locked out with an exemption policy which suffers people? I'm not finished with you, Dr. Hines. Talking a lot of nonsense, Dr. Hines. Dr. Hines, let me ask you this one. If since February 21st, the protocol for contact tracing and quarantine, and now you all are distinguishing between incubation period and infectious period and so on, and if the WHO said that on February 21st that these protocols have changed, and they really said from 2 to 7 days, but Dr. Hines just used the lower number, right, for Dr. Rowley, 2 days. But the WHO document says 2 to 7. But let's go with Dr. Hines. Dr. Hines, if it's only 2 days that you have to go back to contact trace, it's only 2 days where you can be infectious. Why since February 22nd have you still been making citizens who are repatriating pay for 7 to 14 days quarantine at $1,000 per night? See what happens, Dr. Hines, when you lie? Why have you, the man who's making the rules, you and that next PNM one day, man of the year, sweet boy who woman thought looked good, yeah, he might be look good, but he's an embarrassment in his profession and he's a total clown, Parasram. Might be a good-looking clown, so be it, if you're all into that. Why have citizens been paying hotel bills for an extended 14-day quarantine when only 2 days is the limit since February 21st update? So they could have shortened their stay and spent maybe 4 or 5 days at $1,000, $5,000, $4,000 or $5,000 rather than $14,000 plus food and so on. So you kept this information away while citizens had to pay for protocols that did not exist anymore, Dr. Hines. Please explain. The Douglas is listening. I love to listen to intelligent people. It's just amazing how much sense you all make to those who bother to listen to you, Dr. Hines. And let me tell you something, Dr. Hines. Then why is it, for example, that 2 policemen in Penal, they tested positive and the entire station was sanitized and some sections closed down and so on? But yet in the parliament, where Dr. Rowley was, where he was talking and spitting and hugging and having on his scarf and laughing and ponging with others, and then he went to the tea room and he went in and had a corn soup and eat and move around, and he went in the bathroom, Lord have mercy, I hope I didn't use the same bathroom. He went to the bathroom and so on, and you know Small Pin must accompany him to the bathroom, maybe to shake, I don't know, he's always with him, can't do without him. How come it is, sir, that the protocols of sanitization, thorough scrub down, and so on did not apply to the parliament, but it applies in Chaguanas, in the market, in the grocery, in the super farm, in wherever, in the bank, Republic Bank, Samoa Barataria, wherever COVID-19 is in the police station in Penal? Dr. Hines? Dr. Hines, you're an embarrassment to your profession, sir. And you need to explain. You need to explain to all those people and give them a refund on the money. Not refund like the licensing extra fee $375 that I paid at Faris Ala one shot, say in the Senate that we will get back with money. He said that about 6 months ago. Nobody ain't get back 1 cent yet. So why are you charging people to stay in quarantine? And why are your exemption policy of the Ministry of National Security, other than check Jelani, why does it state 14-day quarantine? What about the asymptomatic patients? What about the incubation period? All of this normal science is thrown out the door, Dr. Hines, because a bald clown in a Bermuda shirt didn't want to take a vaccine and come to tell we he have COVID-19 because he sneezed. I'm feeling to sneeze. We coming back.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago till we have this thing out to fix. We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race, fine and Negro places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
And welcome back. And Dr. Hines and Dr. Parishram, Mr. Man of the Year, and so on. You see this here? This is Nicholas Kun form. Yeah, I'm going to say it so what? It's Vishnu's son. We're going to say we's Douglas politics. We ain't afraid of that. And they said they had some contact in a business place. And it showed that he did not have contact with the person at all because he did not work that day. It also passed 14 days passed since the so-called contact. A total of 17 days since the person was in the store. Because the boy came in the store, this person came in the store 3 days after the other person who was COVID-19 positive. 3 days after. When they said and they showed the tracing and so on, that 17 days had passed, your ministry and your health officials still tell him that he had a quarantine for 4 more days home. A total of 21 days. So how you reach 2 days, so Dr. Rowley now? Dr. Hines. Moving right along. Let me read for you the Express editorial. Monday, 12th April. A parliament failure. Given the scientific position on the incubation period for COVID-19, the parliament should have immediately instituted all testing and sanitizing protocols. Why not? Isn't that what we told? COVID-19 positive, sanitizing protocols, testing protocols, contact tracing. What's wrong with that? Because it's Rowley? Because he had a wedding to go to? What's wrong with Trinidad and Tobago? Why some people must be under the law and others above the law? Why? Had it acted as required, the country would have been spared another divisive political tit for tat. This is amazing. The Express, who has been very fair since October, you are putting forward a position that shows that Kamla Persad-Bissessar was absolutely correct. By your words, in your editorial, throughout, the entire editorial upholds the policy position of Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the UNC for boycotting Parliament because of lack of sanitation and testing protocols not being followed on Friday and, well, today also, because of lack of response from the Speaker of the House and the leader of government business in the Senate, who said, fireburn them protocols, we don't need that. So the UNC says we don't understand that because science is science, and if there are protocols and sanitization needs to be done, sanitize and press on. Do the job and let's do our work. Don't put people at risk because we're one fool away from a lockdown. But the Express, in stating exactly Kamla Persad-Bissessar's position, says, and I quote, had the Parliament acted as required, the country would have been spared another divisive political tit for tat. How can it be political tit for tat if Kamala Prasad Bissessa and you, the Express, you agree that she was absolutely correct? If she's absolutely correct, it is not political, it is scientific, it is health, it is protocols, it is fairness, it is the law. So upholding the law and doing the right thing could never be tipped. And therefore, it could not be attacked. What you can say, Express, is that the PNM has failed. They have flouted the laws, their own laws that they make. That the Attorney General is a lawmaker in the day and a lawbreaker hugging up a set of man and holding the hand and brain like a donkey in an arm wrestling. That's what you could have said. Don't try to equate UNC and PNM as usual, because that's what you all love to do. The PNM is the worst, most incompetent, but you always have to throw in something negative about the UNC. And it's not true. The UNC was correct. That's something else I wanted to show there, Vishnu, on that point. What was that, boy? Okay, just now. To tell you how incompetent the PNM is. Remember Rowley and Diyal Singh telling all you from long time, we love you long time. Sit down with the Chinese and they want Chinese vaccine and we can sign up whatever, sign up farm, sign up whatever. And the whole world saying that the Chinese vaccine ain't good. It don't mean China ain't good. They make many good things. But the vaccine ain't working. That is all. The Indian vaccine working, other vaccine working, Pfizer vaccine working. China says our vaccines are weak. In a rare admission of the weakness of Chinese coronavirus vaccines, the country's top disease control official says their effectiveness is low and the government is considering mixing them to get a boost. So not only we gain weak vaccine come down, we gain expire vaccine, we vaccine delay, we have no hope again herd immunity. Vaccine might be gone missing from a health center. Wade Marks got information that it's not Couva Health or Couva Hospital, but Couva Health Facility. They admitted that there was a scare that some had been stolen, but a subsequent investigation showed that all were there. The mere fact that there was a scare that someone can actually possibly steal vaccine means that your security sucks. Nobody could have somehow get to storm that wedding. Nobody was able to slip a camera through to take a video to put on social media in that wedding. Not a human being broke protocol and took some pictures to show who was in the wedding wearing tight shirt and who was dancing with Dolce Gabbana and them kind of Gucci belt and thing. They didn't see that. So if a wedding by Andrew Gabriel could be so secure, you are telling me that the mere fact that there was a rumor and a possibility to be investigated that vaccines could have been stolen from the Couva Health Facility, that don't worry all you? Tobago Tourism Agency launches Mask On Tobago. You're a little bit late, eh? You're now putting mask on. After we watch video, we'll pick up something and pelt it away, throw it away. Woman in bikini on top, man neck, going reverse, looking all through. We don't know what it is. Woman on woman, man on man, tight shirt, tight pants, big muscle, no mask whatsoever. Party, Zessa, glass bottom boat. All you now in Tobago saying put on mask. Well, today is about 14 days from Rowley's advertisement. Tobago is the place to be. Everybody's going to Tobago. Get over to Tobago. The economy is booming because of domestic tourism. Yes, everybody go to Tobago. That's what Rowley did in a pandemic, inviting people to go across and frolic. And frolic they did. Here's the problem now. We're about 14 days out from that. And today, with whatever testing them is do, because it's not very good, it's not very pervasive, it's minuscule at best, it's sporadic in the norm. But let's compare like to like. That's what they have been doing for the last year, so leave it so. 70 positive cases today. And over the next few days, because of the 14-day incubation period, because of the asymptomatic spread, because of the community spread and the infectious spread of the disease, the Tobago effect is now taking national effect, because all the people who were frolicking with Rowley and so on in Tobago got on the plane, got on the beautiful ferries that cost 300 million extra without procurement, that ministers went to procure. Rowley and Smallpin went to procure, drank scotch and ate shrimps and purchased vessels costing $1 billion, then say, give me 2 cutlass and come back. The frolicking, look at the strong, handsome guy, humbly handsome. Always with some man around showing off. I don't know, I can't understand, I really don't understand that. Always flexing in front of some man. That's not me that he only pictures. It's only pictures. If only have more pictures, show them more pictures. But 70 positive tests. And if you notice, but they'll probably try to, because the Douglas said now, you know, them docs and them, there's increased tests by 31,000 when you tell them they test too low. Then they just test, they don't test. So now the Douglas alerting you that the next few days you will see upwards of 80, 85, 90 positive tests if they continue to test as they were sporadically. That's what you're going to see because of Rowley's irresponsibility. But you all thought last year through the media and through surveys and through the chambers of commerce that Rowley was doing great on COVID. Read Ryan Hadid, Tuesday, April 13th, Guardian, positively idiotic COVID-19 response. Could not have said it better. Just when you thought our misadventures with COVID-19 couldn't get any more discouraging, we are reminded to expect the unexpected. On the very day the Prime Minister was slated to take the vaccine, he announces he has tested positive for the virus. Needless to say, the population was shocked. Yours truly especially. After all, my previous column expressed the opinion that Dr. Rowley shouldn't be prioritized to receive the vaccine and should instead continue to adhere to the safety measures imposed by his administration until such time that the country reaches herd immunity, which at the current rate of 1,000 or 1,050, if the vaccines reach, we will reach herd immunity of 1.5 million vaccines, which is about 750,000 people in 2024. Jamaica, and Archie should have a little picture, a little slides of Jamaica. Jamaica, they are vaccinating 18,000 people per day. Jamaica not making no joke. Them not making sport. Look at the protocol, look at the separation, look at the perfection, look at the discipline, look at the news, look at the information, look at the big screen, look at the cleanliness, look at Jamaica. But you want to see Trinidad? Go down Diego Martin and you see old people in the hot sun bending down, and when it rains, they do so and they get in wet and they slip in on time to go and write down their name to hopefully get a vaccine sometime next 3 months. That is Rowley's Trinidad and Tobago. Show them Jamaica again. There's not Norway or Denmark or Japan, Australia. Look, Franco meant with people. Jamaica. Organized, efficient, brilliant, relaxed, comfortable, 18,000 vaccination per day. But all you're telling me, left foot flipping, right foot, a bag of dunce. We're coming back.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe.
and information.
For over 1 year now, I've been telling you that Stuart Smallpin Young is the biggest, most incompetent dunce clown in the history of national security. I don't say that with pleasure, because national security is a very important portfolio. It's about you, your safety, my safety, our children's safety. Even in this pandemic, I was telling you that Smallpin all over the place with Rowley negotiating contract, procuring without procurement, doing all kind of things all over Franklin portfolio, negotiating gas price to hijack and collapse the entire industry, while national security is left in total collapse. Our borders are porous and have been porous before COVID, and especially in the last 12 months. Our citizens are left out with a ridiculous, inhumane, unconstitutional exemption policy that requires you to know Jelani to get through, with a bunch of lies and statements that all our citizens are back home, and yet every day we hear pain and torture stories of agony of citizens out there. I told you all that this Smallpin and this Rowley, they so want to spend money on what they could procure through their ministerial portfolios and ministers procuring, that they did not want to spend money on your safety. The vessels at the Coast Guard were either not working or not enough diesel to patrol. I told you all this before. Every time I go out fishing, there are 12 to 14 vessels parked up there, while Venezuelans are fishing and coming into Chagaramas, coming down Cedros, Icacos, all over, coming in, running from Maduro. The only thing that might save us now going forward is that Trinidad and Tobago has become as bad as Venezuela, and now Venezuelans are running from Trinidad and Tobago to go elsewhere. That is the policy, that is the safety net of Rowley's incompetence. Make hair so bad that even Venezuelans who leave Maduro would prefer to either go back there or go somewhere else. So, no air guard, no radar, no helicopter, no army base, no Coast Guard guarding our coast. Well, look what happened. I decided to go and take a little fish Saturday. What day is today? Tuesday? This was Saturday in your country under pandemic, with your airport closed and an exemption policy that keeps our citizens out and under attack by the Minister of National Security if they speak out. Run the track there, Vishnu. And here we are right here off the coast early, heading towards tracking station, North Coast Trinidad. And look right here. Let's go right here and let's zoom in. Look right there. A Venezuelan vessel less than 1 kilometer off the land of Trinidad and Tobago, while all the Coast Guard vessels under Smallpin stay parked up. Well done, we're safe like Selassie briefcase.
There's a report that the Cedros seaport is still not functional, and the dilemma about whether people are going to come in and we're going to criminalize people.
Well, I actually saw reports to that effect, and I've had members of the media messaging me about it, etc. The language you use is very interesting. The port at Cedros is completely functional. There are officers there, there are immigration officers there, customs officers there, the Coast Guard officers there. What you may not be seeing is boats that were accustomed coming into that port. You all would recall that I said not too long ago, we have taken a decision that we need to secure our borders. Securing our borders out on the maritime means that you secure your borders. And that's exactly what is happening. You can't pick and choose who is coming in, who is not coming in. That's not a decision. We said we would lock down, is the term that the lay people use, the borders. We gave certain instructions to our men and women in Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, and you can't have it one way or the other. One minute you're hearing, look, there's streams and so many Venezuelans coming in all over the place. We had to take a decision, and we had taken it to implement, and we bolstered it. We're utilizing as much resources as we have to ensure that our maritime borders are properly manned and patrolled.
We closed our borders because it was the most effective way to keep who was in here fairly safe from allowing those who are outside, nationals and non-nationals, from bringing to us an infection that could damage and destroy us. We closed our border.
Venezuelan boat going in, Coast Guard, park up sleeping, COVID-19 protocols. Yes, man, be safe like Selassie briefcase. Watch all the boats, all the Coast Guard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a big ship here about 5 months just park up there. Look at next Coast Guard park up behind that. Everybody just relaxing. No diesel. Border safe. Great is the PNM. That is just Saturday. Saturday. And that's the seriousness with which your government and a Rowley and that small pin clung, taking your border security while businesses shut down. 38% of businesses will never open. The entire economy is shattered. People starving and suffering. And these clowns have COVID-19 just walking across. If we are two small rocks, we have a comparative advantage to the rest of the world, to Europe, to the big continents who have to protect their borders, land. People could come across in car, walk across, climb across. Very difficult. We have a natural protection, except that we have natural idiots in positions who do not care. That is Saturday. All you saw Small Pin talking since 2019. Pre-COVID. What I just show you there, what I film, according to a former PNM member of parliament for Laventille West. What I filmed there. And I wonder if you have the one, you are the one when we come back, that's the one when we was going. I sent it to you late. There are one last one. Check on your phone there, Vishnu. Because that one, as you see, was going out. We fish all day, and when we come back in, they had a next video. I don't know if they go find it, but that is just to tell you the incompetence of Stuart Small Pin Young. And if you cannot protect two rocks surrounded by water and locked down to protect from COVID-19, then what are you good for? It's an easy task. It does not take a high level of intelligence. It just takes a bit of effort, some resources, and following through with a plan. So no air guard radar, operational, not operational, no army camps along the coast, no Coast Guard vessels lying about daymen, engineers not coming for COVID when he signed the exemption to let them in. And now you see it continued. Porous borders, Venezuelan fishing boats coming in without masks, 10, 12, 16 people per vessel, 18 to 20 vessels per day, jumping off, walking off. And then, just to show you, when you saw the vessel going out, and I show all you, 8, 9, 10 Coast Guard vessels park up, when we coming back, let me see what was going on. We finished fish. Show it. Reach back after a full day of fishing, about 6 hours, and look what's going on. The Coast Guard vessels, same position, small pin, all of them, they no diesel. 12 vessels just sitting down there doing nothing. We catch 5 bonito, 2 zoffie, 1 kingfish, and 1 carrot, and all you have is a set of Coast Guard doing nothing, sitting down there, because Small Pin buy no diesel. Safe is Trinidad and Tobago. COVID is not coming from Venezuela. You see? and they think it's funny. They talk to you with arrogance. They answer Wade Market senators with arrogance, as if they were performing. I wouldn't mind if they were arrogant and they're good, and we safe and secure. Good for you. But to be total goats, totally incompetent, totally useless, except to your friend and family, but to be arrogant on top of it, napping on St. Vincent, so pressure in St. Vincent, that small pin, who brother, since he's swearing on the Bible to be a minister of everything, and Rowley's Gary Sobers up in the K-Pax, his brother just company that he's the CEO of just luckily won tender after tender for $3.81 billion. That is up to last year, May. Me know what them do since May into April now in this last 11 months could be a next billion. We don't know. We go see. St. Vincent, pressure, volcanic eruption can be predicted. Trinidad and Tobago very aware. The Sunday Express says, napping on St. Vincent. Ministerial accountability requires that the Minister of National Security explain the case of Jael James, the 21-year-old Trinidadian woman who has been stuck in St. Vincent since last year March and is desperately trying to come home amid the eruption of La Soufre, a whole year. And we just had the 19-year-old in Barbados who was there for a month, and Smallpin, who's the only one who could grant an exemption, saying he ain't know nothing about that. But Barbados taking care of our people right through. Then he says, we are helping St. Vincent. Now, be very careful, because we are unable to help St. Vincent people as we would like to. Because our country, our government has an exemption policy with borders closed that keeps citizens outside. Citizens who are starving, who are hungry, who are dying, who are at risk of death because of lack of resources, lack of roof, sleeping in subway station, no medicine, no money. But citizens cannot come home. So if we have that policy for citizens, how can we then be humane and help our Vincentian brothers? We have to keep the same policy. So it's unfortunate that we have an inhumane government. That's how sad it is. So we cannot even really help because of the policy implemented by the heartless. But they say they help. They send 50 cot for man to sleep on. And they come back, they say the plane will come back for 225 cot. Not even bed, not mattress, not sofa, cot. And then now, it gets worse. They say they're going to send our army men, our citizens, our people, our brothers, our fathers, our men, our army men who are supposed to protect us. They're going to send them to St. Vincent. Okay. But they're sending them on the Galleon's Passage. Can the Galleon's Passage even reach St. Vincent? People don't even travel on it to go to Tobago. How long will it take for our men to arrive in St. Vincent on the Galleon's Passage? Why you didn't take the super fast APT James or the Buku Reef that now reach and sing it up there? And also allow it to stay there so some Vincentians could live on it, stay on it, be protected on a beautiful $250 million extra dollar lack of procurement vessel. Why? You want to cut ribbon? You have to cut ribbon first. You can't help people and be humane. You need to cut ribbon. So you ain't going to send a fast vessel that we don't need right now up there to help people and to put them on. Mia Motley and them sending cruise ship up there so people could be comfortable. Then here the worst part. Our army men that they want to send there, where volcano erupting, have no suitable breathing apparatus. Now volcanic ash is not like bitum smoke, you know. Volcanic ash has glass and sharp rocks and molten poison and chemicals and dust, and it be like if it go in your lungs, it gets thick and way there down and could kill you. So you really need high-level, high-tech breathing apparatus. Here's Smallpin. Speaking to the Sunday Express yesterday, Stuart Young confirmed the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force did not have the necessary respiratory gear. But he noted this was not the reason why the military had yet to be deployed, nor will it prevent the officers from going to render assistance. Why you don't flipping go? Where you sending we boys, our boys, without proper equipment to go on dead? Why you don't go with your small pill self without mask? Eh? You're taking mask, you're moving mask from Westlands by Asha Javid to go in Godot Park by Elias. Why you don't go up in St. Vincent without a mask? You sending our people into harm's way without protective gear? You ought to be a madman, boy. Imagine Venezuela sent 20 tons of aid to St. Vincent. Venezuela. Maduro, the scum of the earth who has his people. 7 million more will flee Venezuela this year because of starvation, hunger. But to make himself look good, to get too good report, he sent 20 tons of aid to St. Vincent. With all due respect, if I was the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, I send it back. Because the Venezuelan people suffering longer and harder under Maduro's oppressive regime than my Vincentian people. That is what dictators do. They take photo ops just to look good. Talking about photo op. Look at Trinidad and Tobago. We in a pandemic. We under serious protocols. No more than 10 people in a place at any one time. We are having a spike. Community spread. 70 positive tests. We are one fool away. Put up the picture now. But these fools getting together to hand out keys to a house and had 26 families along with them 20 officials. So 50, 60 people gathering together for a photo op to show a key and take a picture and say, hey boy, we build house that people have to buy. We build house that people have to buy. Let's do a photo op because the pandemic is not that serious. Us taking a picture, giving out a key, that's the critical element. So they couldn't have one person deliver a key to the person or ask one person to present themselves to the HDC office under protocol, sanitization, separation, temperature check, collect your key, sign your form and go. They have to have a photo op. But that clung of a Prime Minister is shouting down at you to tell you that we are one fool away, one party away from a lockdown and there are no more resources for you. But them have to have a key ceremony for 26 family to receive key to make some and invite media to take picture. Picture. Right? Imbot boy, I nearly make it all. We nearly done, I nearly make it all the way through without talking about Imbot. The Duen dismisses economists' view of the IMF statement. Coleman Imbot via tweet subsequently stated that in an attempt to discredit the IMF's forecast of growth in Trinidad and Tobago economy in 2021, an expert falsely claimed that our economy is 40% lower than in 2007. When in fact our GDP is 8% higher now than then. Now if anybody believes that our GDP is higher now than 2007, you have to be totally clueless. Our GDP under Kamla Prasad Bisesa in 2014 was approximately $157 billion. In 2019, before COVID, that Duen put him back up. That clung, that dunce, that engineer that has built thing and it blew down, decimated the economy pre-COVID down to a GDP of $118 billion. $40 billion less was generated in the economy under that Duen, put him back there, than under Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Now if you all think back, 2007, we had just gone through a boom, 2004, 2005, 2006, into 2007. The collapse of the global market and stock exchange and so on took place in 2008. He is saying that our economy now under him is 8% higher than 2007. What a dishonest clown. HDC. I'll finish y'all off for this. I ain't get through all my topics today. But Friday we go fix up. Let me finish with HDC. Noel Garcia and Keith Rowley are like this. They are brethren. They are like bag on bag. They are bagman for bagman, hug up, they're real tight. When Keith Christopher Rowley was moved from Minister of Integrated Planning and Development in November of 2003 by Patrick Mervyn Augustus Manning, after he had just signed his name to ministerial outline approval for Joseph Rahal, John Rahal's son, and his company to go up in Shorelands, Manning moved him to housing. Rowley quickly got Noel Garcia there and put a board with Andre Montai and Faris Al-Rawi. They started to do projects without approvals, without any town and country approvals, without WASA approvals, without TNTEC approvals, which led to Greenvale, which led to Edinburgh Towers, which led to projects all across Trinidad and Tobago going overruns and not being completed. Two of these towers are the Edinburgh 500 towers. You see those scars on the plains of Central. You see those ugly things. That is Rowley and Noel Garcia. They were budgeted at 47 million or something. They went up 88.7 million over. But there were no approvals, no tongue and country approvals, incomplete designs, design flaws, a total collapse, total failure under Rowley and Noel Garcia. Today's Tuesday, April 13, page 4, Guardian. Construction of the Edinburgh Towers started in 2006 at a cost of 140 million, but stalled in 2011 due to design flaws and missing approvals. A 2018 report also stated that the towers were initially pegged at 57 million, that's under Rowley, but incurred a massive 87.7 million in variation. By 2011, the buildings were still without statutory approvals from the TNT Electricity Commission, Water and Sewerage Authority, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, and the Tongue and Country Planning. When Rowley was asked about this in a Guardian article 2 years ago, he said, and I quote, "Sometimes in order to expedite projects, you have to..." Let me see, what was the word? I don't want to quote him wrongly. No? Let me paraphrase. You have to go around the laws in order to expedite. Let me paraphrase. I was going to quote direct, but my brain freezed it. Paraphrasing, Rowley's quoted in that Guardian article as stating, yes, we had to go around the statutory approvals and get around it and move on without it in order to provide resources in a timely fashion. In other words, you had to break the law to get it done. So he broke the law, but he didn't get it done. What he got was $87.7 million overrun. But the story ain't done there. So no approvals from TNTEC, WASA, Fire Service, no tongue and country planning. In fact, at one point, the recommendation was to scrap the project because it was too expensive to complete. And there were problems with the tower, including structural integrity. Now, this is thing they're going to put people family in, right? But this man, Noel Garcia, was in charge at that time too with Rowley. But he says now that Noel Garcia is boasting that yes, the final cost will be approximately 475,000, Garcia said, per unit. We're going to get it down from the original estimation of $700,000. So we're going to, we're going to save people some money. We're going to get it in cheaper at $475,000. For them stupid thing that you see in there, think about it. You'll drive past tomorrow and look at those things. Look at the size of them. Look at the square footage. Look at what individual one's going to be. $500,000 for them thing, looking like container on top one another, going up 10, 12 stories. But that's not the worst part. Noel Garcia says the original plan was to have these completed and put on the open market for sale. Okay, but that's not the plan now. You see, the open market for sale, people would have been able to compete and buy and so on. But now they're going to subsidize and allow people not to pay. They can go to get a 2% loan from the mortgage finance company. Now, under Kamla Prasad Bissessa, Vasant Bharat was Minister of Trade and Industry at that time and a junior minister or minister in the Ministry of Finance. And he brought about a cabinet note to put 2% loans for people to buy house. There was someone at the mortgage finance company called Ingrid Lashley, and she refused to implement what the cabinet wanted. Time after time, cabinet meeting, we saying, but what happened? We approved this thing. Why is it going? As soon as the partnership lost government, Ingrid Lashley reached on about 6 or 7 Rowley board as chairperson of NEL and all kind of other board. That's what others have to deal with in government. Now they're boasting that citizens could go and get a 2% mortgage from the mortgage finance company. This man says, HDC Chairman Noel Garcia yesterday said there were several issues regarding the tower, including the structural integrity. After an analysis, he said, engineers gave the clearance to proceed. Thank you, that's the picture, and I believe that picture was even from the Guardian article when Rowley made the quote in the first paragraph on the left-hand side, where he basically said, yes, we went ahead without approvals because you have to subvert the law, you have to go around the law in order to get things expedited. That's the words of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But hear what this man says. Noel Garcia, who was in charge of that, and there were problems, no approval, no nothing, and structural integrity risk. Noel Garcia is now in charge of HDC, and he commissions a report to say the project could go ahead. So he created the problem, and he okayed the problem. And you all see nothing wrong with that. No conflict of interest. That is corporate governance. That is great. That is going to ensure the safety of the population. For a man who was in charge of the bubble, who was in charge of the lack of approvals, who was in charge of subverting the law, who was in charge of creating a project that had to stop because of structural integrity, he then hires engineers who come back now and say, nah, it's okay, go ahead. And they're going to take your money and put you in that because they're looking to pad votes in that constituency, Chaguanas. There it is. They lost recently a local government electoral Burgess in Chaguanas in that area. So you see why they are excited and moving ahead. The final question I have for Noel Garcia. I saw him coming out of the grocery. Remember I tell all you in Alice Glen with one big bag. I just parked my car and I look, so I swear I see Rowley name on the bag. I ain't know why. I just said, well, who can see the size of this bag, eh? And I said, well, what Rowley name doing on that bag? Me ain't know what in the bag, eh? I want to ask Noel Garcia something. The phase 1 of this project that you say is going on, which involves scaffolding going up on both sides of the towers, was that tendered, Noel Garcia? Did a company win that tender? How many companies tendered? What was the price that won that tender for the scaffolding for that project? Was that tender scuttled, Noel Garcia? And if so, why was it scuttled? Is it true that UDCOT is using and trying to utilize scaffolding that it had from the Red House, which is insufficient for the 2 towers? And that UDCOT is going to purchase scaffolding worth $12 million in order to give the contract to a friend and financier, thereby increasing the cost of that phase of the project from $4 million to $27 million. Noel good-looking Garcia. All you have a picture of Noel Garcia? But how this man is so good-looking. I think he going competition with Camille Robinson Regis. I don't know who better looking between them two and Natalie Legore. He's just a gorgeous fellow, you know. But put him up, because this man, Noel Garcia, is in charge. He was with Rowley in Ministry of Housing, the two biggest failures from Las Alturas to this Edinburgh, to all the projects that were incomplete to Greenvale. He is now Rowley's #1 go-to man. He is building airport in Tobago, hospital block in Port of Spain, sports stadium, police station, fire station, Red House, President's House, Prime Minister residence in Tobago, community center, and every house in Trinidad and Tobago. That's a good-looking fella, man. On that note, white boy Noel Garcia, boy, you sweet boy. No wonder you hired a pretty girl as the managing director of HDC, boy. Noel Garcia, I have some questions for you, no? I have some questions for you. How ugly man does get girl when they have powerful position? Douglas Politics, all you go find out. I gotta bring back some fairy tale for you. Planet Senator, we out. Thank you for watching. Share it and get serious. Wake up, because these people are abusing me. Let me go a wedding now. Who are wedding to go to? I feel to drink a rum and soda. Vishnu, Archie, we out.